What's up, everybody, and welcome to another episode of the Candid Couch.
What's going on, guys?
We are back. We had a little break, but we are back. So welcome back, you guys. We got some good stuff for you today. If you're here with us on YouTube, please subscribe to the channel, like the video, share, comment, do all those things. If you are listening on Spotify, thank you guys so much.
We're definitely excited to be back, guys. It's been a little break, but we got some good topics coming your way.
And we're going to start with our question of the day.
All right, the question of the day. Is Valentine's Day necessary, or is it a money grab for like corporations and restaurant industry? I think I'm gonna answer this first. I actually do think it's necessary. It's a nice little holiday for couples to, display their love to each other, and some people need that little break. Some people may not have time, or they don't may not think about. And I think we're all there sometimes as spouses and whatnot. We kind of get busy with life, and I guess Valentine's Day is like a little break to kind of like, let's celebrate each other, because sometimes we may not prioritize it. So yeah, I think it is necessary. It kind of brings spark back in relationships. It's a fun day to, again, just to celebrate each other. And of course, corporations and restaurants, and they benefit from it. They're making a lot of money, all the gifts and the, the chocolates and the teddy bears and hearts. They're making a lot of money. But yeah, I do think it's necessary. I wonder who started Valentine's Day. I wonder how that got started up. What do you think?
I have no idea, but I know that it's been a thing for a really long time. As far as this question goes, I'm going to say that two things can be true at the same time. I do think that it should be celebrated because, to some people, it is considered a holiday. It's Love Day. Why not take a day to celebrate love? Growing up, before we got into like relationships and stuff like that, my parents took that as a day to show us love. Like they would get us gifts, they would get us candy, write little cards about how much they love us. Like I think it's Love Day. Sometimes we make it specifically about like relationships and marriages, but celebrate a friend, celebrate your kids, celebrate yourself, take yourself to the spot.
That's a good point. I never actually heard of that. I always associated Valentine's Day with people kind of loving on each other in terms of couples, not really like the parents and the kids and the
Right, like
friendships. But that's a good point, though.
Yeah, I think anytime that you celebrate love is a good day. And I think it's a good time to celebrate it. And like I said, I think it can be true. I do think that they're making money off of us, in order to celebrate this day, but they're making money from us every day. They're making money from us on the weekends. People go out to eat on the weekends, any holiday. So I think, birthdays is something that like it's your day. Your birthday is your day, my birthday is my day. But when everybody can be on one accord and celebrate such a beautiful thing as love on the same day, like I think it's beautiful. I do.
For sure. It's a day where, like I said, you kind of celebrate each other and kind of bring that spark back, and show love to people that you may not typically show love to, like you said, your friends or whatnot.
And I think no, I'm not one of those people that like be like, oh, I can't wait till Valentine's Day because he's gonna show me you love me. Like
Right.
you should be
Right.
doing it
Of
on a
course.
regular basis when you're in a marriage or a relationship. Or even like I said, when it comes to your family members, show them love on a random Wednesday. It doesn't have to be for Valentine's Day. But yeah, I think it's a very important day to just stop and celebrate love.
Absolutely. It's the truth. I get excited now that I'm married now. Obviously, when you're single, you don't really think about it. But I wasn't that type to kind of be like, oh man, crying. I gotta, I don't have a person
Here
to.
y'all go posting on social media.
Right, yeah. I wasn't really that type though, but like now that I got somebody, it's like, oh, this is pretty nice. Yeah, you got to spend some money, but it's worth it. I think it's definitely necessary.
And I ain't no salad. When you take me to dinner, I want a steak. So yeah, we're gonna spend some money, but we don't do that all the time. So it's a good time.
Chris.
I'm looking forward to it. It's a good time. Let us know in the comments what y'all think. Do you celebrate it? Do you not celebrate it? If you do celebrate it, why do you celebrate it? If you don't, let us know that too.
All right, the topic of the day is love is work. So we got this clip that we kind of saw. I think
It was like surfacing on TikTok and
yeah,
stuff.
it's a pretty good clip. I want you guys to comment actually to tell us what you guys think about it. But we're gonna talk about this. I'm gonna roll that real quick.
Marriage is work. Staying with the same person for 50 years is work. Staying with the same person for 65 years, that's work. That's not just love, that's work. Love works. True love will work. True love will make you work on yourself. It will make you work on your relationship. It will make you work on your communication style. It will make you work on your tone. It will make you work on being home on time. It will make you work on cooking. It will make you work on cleaning. True love actually works. It ain't just a feeling, it's an action. I've been married for 23 years. I'll be married for 24 years, May 1st of 2023. Our love works for each other. We work at this. This ain't just we wake up every morning just in love. We work at it. And we've worked at it for 23 years. And that's why the relationship is so good. Juliet's my girl. You know what I'm saying? But we work at this. It's not just I woke up like this. I woke up like this. No, I didn't just wake up like this. I worked at this.
Okay, so that's a clip from another podcast. Tim Ross is called The Basement. I believe it's called The Basement. So that's where we got that clip from. So yeah, we're just gonna talk about it. I definitely want to hear your perspective. Tell me what you think.
Okay. I'll go first. I totally agree. Marriage is work. It is. This is not. It's challenging and it's a beautiful thing. I mean, God designed it for a reason. It's wonderful. But there's I guess times in marriage when it's really challenging and it's hard because it's like you're mixing two people together, two totally different people, different temperaments, different perspectives. You mixing it together, and when you do that, you kind of get chaos sometimes, and sometimes you
Different
don't.
childhoods too.
Yeah, different upbringings, all that stuff. But yeah, I think marriage is work if you want it to last, because there are times when you're going to have disagreements about things, and that's when a compromise comes in. That's when uh if somebody hurts the other, you have to show godly love to that person, forgiveness. All those things are wrapped around in that. A lot of people, including myself at one point, you know saw marriage as this, like, two people are in love, and that's very true. But love isn't, in my opinion, it's a choice, it's a decision. You have to choose to love the person you marry, because you're not gonna always feel like you love them all the time, because our feelings change. We change, so we may feel differently about that person. You have to choose, and I think it comes down to a decision, because if you have that decision in your mind, it's going to result in an action of showing love to that person, and developing that. I think that it's definitely work, and it's, like I said prior, it's a beautiful thing. I'm enjoying it. I love my wife. I love being with her. She's my best friend. But there are times when it's challenging. Like, there's times when we don't like each other. There's times when she talking crazy, and I'm talking crazy. But the thing is, it's beautiful, because we always come back to each other a couple minutes later, like, "Oh, I'm sorry," or let me just say this first. We don't be talking crazy to each other,
Give him the
but
example of how today went. Like,
oh, okay, yeah, there was some there was some disagreements today. But like I said, like, we came together. We had a disagreement about. You want to be specific, or
we literally were at odds the entire day today, and
yeah, because it was one of those days.
there was no specific reason, but
Yeah,
everything that he was doing was getting on my nerves.
right.
Everything I was doing, like,
Pissing me off.
why are you chewing so loud? Why are you talking so loud? Why are you yelling? Why are you
Like
everything?
painting the nails in the car,
I was
like
painting my nails on the way,
the fumes,
and
and
he
I'm
was
like,
pissed
oh my
about
God,
that,
man.
and it just kind of spiraled from there. Like, we had been arguing all day,
Not
and
arguing.
then it was we were disagreeing, getting on each other's nerves all day.
Yeah.
And then he looked over at me and said, "You hungry? What you want to eat?" And then that was it. Like, it was just like,
And I got her what she wanted. She wanted,
and that was it.
A wing addict. So I went and got her some buffalo
Hot
wings and some other stuff with the Fridays. We ain't been there in a minute,
but yeah, that was how that kind of resolved itself.
That's fun that you brought that up, because it's like, you don't think, like, because you think you when you're mad at somebody, you're fighting with them, or you arguing or going back and forth. It's like, we wasn't yelling or nothing, but we were just being sarcastic. That's just how we talk to each other. But we was being mad sarcastic with each other. And then after a certain point, it wasn't even a long pause. It was like we was like, oh yeah, you do this, or you do this. Like, man, what are you talking about? Like, you do that. All right, whatever. You want something? What you hungry or?
What's on the eat?
And that was me. I was like, you hungry? You want something to eat? What you want for dinner? It's like,
You hungry?
I want wings.
Yes.
It's crazy, man. And that's marriage for you, yo. It's like, it's crazy because it's like at 1 second you at odds, and then you just like, you gotta like, I mean, this is your partner. This is your
Pivot.
this is your
You
person.
pivot.
It's like, this ain't gonna break you up. This ain't gonna end our relationship. Or, I mean, I guess I don't know, man. It's kind of cute though in a way. Like, I don't know. It's just like we was just going back and forth, being sarcastic. She's pissing me off. I'm pissing her off, and then like she got to eat. You know what I mean? We got to eat. Got the baby got to eat. So like, what we gonna do for dinner, boo? Like,
let's table this for a second so that we can get some food, and then I'll tell you later how you getting on my nerves.
Right? Like, and then we just can't. I mean, it's a beautiful thing though, and that goes back to that decision thing. Like I said, like I choose. Like, even when she gets on my nerve, like I choose to love her. I choose to, because she's my person. She's the mother of my child, and she's my special person. Like, she can piss me off all my life, and I'll stay here because that's I choose to love her. I choose to be here, and like I said, feelings change, so we make a choice. So that's a little bit of some piece of what I thought about it. I'm gonna dig a little deeper, but I want to hear your point of view. What do you think?
I agree. And so what he was basically saying in the clip is that love is work, marriage is hard, loving is hard. And I was talking to one of my coworkers once, and she was basically saying, like, why do you think that people, and this is when married people say things like marriage is hard, marriage is work, it's not to scare you away from the concept
Be
of getting
honest.
married. It is the honesty of it's going to take work, but the transformation of who you become in it is a huge testimony. You know what I'm saying? It is, like I said, I always compare marriage to being a part of the gospel. It is that testimony of I started here, but I ended up here. God was working through us in our marriage. And one of the reasons I think that love is work and marriage is work, relationships, not even just romantic relationships with your siblings, relationships with your coworkers, relationship with your friends, relationship with your parents, your in-laws, all of these relationships take work. And the reason why is because I think that relationships sort of go against our genetic makeup of selfishness. It is our nature to be selfish.
Very true.
So when you think of like being in a relationship with somebody, being in a marriage with somebody, I have to choose not to be selfish when it's the very thing I would usually do.
Want to do.
I have to go against what I would usually do and think of another person before me. That's insane, to really think about it.
Naturally, our mind is like, why are you choosing this person over yourself? It just goes against our being, and that's where God comes in, and like that reflection of Christ and His bride, which is the church. And I mean, it's a direct reflection of marriage. Like, if we do something, if we sin against God, that forgiveness is there if we repent and whatnot. And same thing with marriage. Like, if she does something to get on my nerve like today, or if I do something to get on her nerve like today, we apologize. We didn't even apologize. We kind of just swept it under the rug, and like it's not something that we're gonna hold a grudge about. It wasn't even that serious. But the fact that we know that we're acting as if there was no issue because it's forgotten, in a way, like it's gone. It's like I'm talking to you, treating you, not being petty, not talking crazy, not with a tone or an attitude because I'm still mad. It's like as if we never had the disagreement. It's like,
And that's the thing. Like, if you get into an argument with somebody on the train or the bus or an airplane, it's like, I'm gonna give you how I feel because I don't have to be sensitive. When you get into an argument with your spouse, you have to stop and, like, literally the things that you think or the things that you would say or the things that you would normally feel, like, you have to make a choice, and that's not easy to do. When I'm coming home from work and I would say, I don't feel like cooking, I'm gonna grab me some dinner, I have to think about my spouse. When I want to say something just because it's on my mind and I want it to be heard, I have to think about how my spouse is going to receive it. When I want to do something that doesn't include my spouse, I have to think about how it would make him feel, or like, who's going to watch the baby. Like, we have to make decisions based on each other. And that's against our nature of selfishness as people. Being in a relationship does really expose your selfishness in any relationship. Friendships expose your selfishness. Relationships with other people, like even coworkers, it can expose your selfishness. And I think that's where the choice comes in. It's a choice. And it's hard to make a choice every day. It's hard.
And it is every day, because he mentioned in the clip that, people been married 20, 30, 40, 50 years. I mean, you're not together with one person for that long unless you are putting effort into making that relationship work. If it's a friendship, it's a marriage, if anything, because it's two different people. Like, I like things she don't like. I like things that may annoy her. I mean, there's things that she does or she likes that annoy me, but we choose each other every day. Like, and that's what it is. And no, we're not perfect. Like, like every other marriage, no marriage is perfect. We just roll with the punches every single day and ask God for grace and for help and prayer and whatnot to kind of teach us. And I think that's where the goal is. We need to ask the designer, the creator, on how to do this thing called marriage that he designed. We can't redefine things and kind of like uh, 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 think we know or have all the answers. We have to go to the creator of who designed marriage, who designed relationships. He knows. So we go to him and we pray and we ask him, like, teach me how to love my wife, right? Like, just the way you love the church. And he'll do it. Like, and he's helped me with that. And I'm sure a lot of other guys as well. I've had many a conversation with different men that said, yeah, I used to be this way. Now I'm this way when I spent time with the Lord and whatnot. And same with my wife, we choose each other because the Lord chose us. In a way, if you think about it, that may sound deep, but I think it's true, and we can't do this without his direction. But I think that it definitely helps, because if we learn from him, it's like, all right, now I know, let me think about my wife first before I do this. Let me go call her. Hey, you want this? Or let me be forgiving to her because, God forgave me. Or, you know what I mean? We got to look at it like that. And because if we kind of take out or kick out the designer, the creator of this, we kind of go based upon what we think works. And that never works, because we always choose ourselves first and everything. If we subconsciously, what do I want? That always comes
because
first.
because it's our nature. It's like I was saying, it's our nature. It's what we would normally do. And the choices that you have to make on a daily basis in a practical way are most of the time not huge choices. Like, you don't have to make a huge choice every day, but it's the small choices. It's, I had a really long day. I'm exhausted, but my husband wants to talk to me about his stressful day. I have to make a choice. Do I brush him off, or do I sit and listen in a caring manner where I can make him feel like he's heard and understood, even though I really just want him to be quiet so I can lay down. You know what I'm saying? Like, you have to be selfless when you don't want to be selfless. Like, you have no idea the day I've had, but I'm going to sacrifice this little bit of time where I need to wind down so that you can feel like you're heard, and so that you can get that load off. Sometimes it's the small choices that are huge, because if I do blow him off, that's going to show up later. That's going to be an issue for him. And then it causes a disagreement. People's feelings are hurt. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's small choices that lead to the bigger things that happen in relationships and marriage. And it's sort of a domino effect. You have to be this version of yourself that you wouldn't have normally been outside of the relationship. But I guess that's the beauty of it. And like he was saying, he was making mention of changing your behavior, changing your tone, changing the way you communicate. Like, my husband, when we first started dating, like, anybody who really knows me knows, like, for me, I grew up around a lot of people who were very tell it like it is. Sometimes it may have been rude sometimes, but it was, we tell it like it is.
Direct.
Very direct. Yeah. So I was very direct, and I wasn't always thinking of like how it would make him feel if I said it like this, whatever. We've been married for about 5 years now. And now when I bring him a message, I know how to approach him with the message, as opposed to when we were dating. And I'm like, listen, I don't like that thing you did, and I don't want you to do it again. As opposed to now I can present my feelings and vulnerability. This is how it made me feel. So I would like you to not do it.
Yeah, that's a good point. I mean, vice versa as well. Like, there's some things that I may have been like when we first got married, or when we were dating, like I don't know, like, whoever knows me, they know that my wife was the first girlfriend I ever had, and I thank the Lord, I was able to, she was the one, and I married her, so it's a blessing, But I think the fact that I didn't have a lot of experience with women growing up, so in terms of like dating and whatnot. So when I got with her, I didn't know how to talk to her sometimes, and I don't mean like in a rude way, but like in terms of being
You were rude sometimes.
sensitive about certain things or whatever, or how I say things. Like it came off like, I guess, wrong sometimes, but as you grow and learn and you kind of communicate, you kind of, grow and start communicating better. And I think that's one thing about marriage that is a beautiful thing. And I think this is why, one of the reasons why God designed it and made it. If you think about it, it's really a structure for character building in a way. If you think about it, it teaches you selflessness. It teaches you patience, long suffering. If you're going through something together, you have to do it together, and then suffering together. It teaches you these things, all these important values, kindness. Because how can you stay with somebody or be happy with somebody if you're not being kind to them? You know what I mean? These are things that build your character, and you have to be selfless. And when you don't, it shows, and then it just doesn't work. I mean, you have to. It's a decision, like I said. um
And I think that was one of the things that I loved about you in our early stages of marriage through our frustrations, is that like when I wasn't always kind to you, you were always kind to me. And I think, back to what I was saying about like going against what you would normally do. My husband is a loner. My husband he can spend an entire day in a room with food, TV, and a bathroom. And you will not know he's there. You will have to check on him, make sure his pulse is there. Like he will not make a sound. He won't talk. His lips will not part if he doesn't have to. Or maybe he might, make a remark like, he cheating, that might be it. But
Playing a
like,
video game or
he
something.
cheat, yeah, he cheating. Or he might laugh at the movie, but like you will not know he's there. When we got married, that was an adjustment for us because I like to spend time together. I mean, we have our designated time where it's like, okay, you spend your time. Saturdays we don't mess with each other. You do your thing, I do my thing. We spend time with the baby. Like, we don't really. There are days where like we don't spend time together, but we had to cut out time to be like, okay, we have to make time for each other because he had to go against what he would normally do to suffice that uh void that was happening in the marriage.
Right. I mean, it's called prioritizing, basically, because in the beginning, I didn't know how to do that because I'm so used to doing what I want to do when I want to do it. So if I want to play my game at 2 a.m., I'm gonna play my game, not thinking like, oh, my wife want me in the bed with her and go to sleep at night, at that time, or
Or not go to sleep.
not go to sleep or whatever, you know what I mean? You married folks. But I think that, the fact that me playing my video game at 2 a.m., or, when I was learning how to program, be me trying to figure out problems and coding and whatnot early in my career or whatnot, and sure, her going to sleep without me in there, it's just, these are things that, like, before I met her or was with her, I can just do whatever I want. I can stay up as late as I want. I can do what I want, and that's the blessing too. Singleness is a blessing as well, and marriage both of them are blessings. But I think that there's a time for both. When
And I
you
think
when
they
you
both have
are
their benefits too.
right, when there's a time for you to be single, and there's a time. The Bible talks about that. There's time for everything, right? When you're married, there's a time to grow up and how to make better decisions. And I think I've grown up a lot. I think my wife's grown up a lot. I mean, it just, like I said, I think marriage is a catalyst for character building, and it's definitely been working with us. My wife's become a better woman, a better wife. I think I've become a better man, a better husband, and I'm still learning day by day. Like, and you don't win in this race, or you're not successful in marriage, or have that 20-year or hit that 30-year mark, 50-year mark without, um in a way, dying to yourself, like Jesus tells us to do. We gotta die daily to his flesh, and then that could be in the spiritual sense, obviously, and naturally. You gotta kill this flesh in the sense of, like, I gotta kill what I want so my wife gets what she wants, and then she does that. Marriage is give and take. I give, and I sacrifice what I want for her, and she sacrifices what she wants, and then we both take what she gives, and I take what she gives, and vice versa. I mean, it's a beautiful thing. And go ahead.
No, I was gonna say I think that being in relationships that require you to be selfless makes you a better person. I can say that being a wife has made me a better person. Being a mother has made me a better person. One of the things I always speak about is I have a very huge lack of patience. And it's something that's, I've been working on for years. But being a mother, is patience. Being a wife is patience. So instead of God just giving me patience, He put me in positions to find out what it truly means to be patient, but then also the reward of being patient, the reward of being selfless, the reward of being present in a relationship to cultivate what's there and to create what's not there, and that's the work, and like I said, I don't want to ever be in a position to discourage people who aren't married or who aren't in relationships, like, oh man, like it's a full-time job. Like I remember when we had decided to get married, because we changed our wedding date, but we had decided to get married, then we changed it. And I remember telling someone at my job that I was getting married on this particular day. And I remember he said to me, he said, man, that's marriage is another full-time job. You ready for that? And I remember being so nervous and scared. Like, what do you mean by that? And I get it now. I get it now. But it's way more rewarding than any other job I've had. And like I said, even parenting, it's a job. It is a full-time job. When I want to go to sleep, my daughter wants to play. She hasn't seen me because I've been at work. So you have to make a sacrifice. You know what I'm saying? There are sacrifices in parent. I have to sacrifice a lot to be a parent. You have to sacrifice a lot to be a wife. One of the things I find with women in general, sometimes we want to get married because we like the idea of it, but sometimes we don't really know what it means to be a wife. Like, it's a lot. The role of a wife is a lot, but I do think that it does make you better. And I can't speak on husband, but I think my husband has become a better person in general since being a husband.
Yeah, thank you for saying that. I think it's marriage is a gift, but it's like you don't know what's in the box in a way. It's like you have an idea. I
Yes.
think that, like, for instance,
Wait,
like
wait,
if
wait,
it,
wait. I want to cut you off. Hold on.
please don't
I
steal
want to
what I'm
cut you
going to
off. Hold on,
say.
wait. I don't want to forget what I was going to say.
Don't steal what I'm going to
Hold
say.
on. Okay. I don't know what you're going to say, but I want to cut you off real quick because I want to get this out before I forget. I heard someone say, and I don't know who it was, I'm sorry, but I heard someone say, he said, getting married is based on what you knew about dating. So when you're dating a person, you propose to them because you're saying, I want to marry this person based on what I know about them from dating. After you actually say, I do, you're committing to something and a version of a person that you have not met. That takes work. You have not met this version of this person. You have not seen the seasons that you will go through. So you're agreeing to something almost blindly by faith, really.
Yes, absolutely right. I think that's a good point. I think that marriage is a gift, and it is a gift. But just imagine someone giving you a box all bundled up with the bow. What is it called? The bow tie, or the wrapping and the bow on top of the box. It's a beautiful gift wrapped perfectly. This is yours. This is for you. This is your gift. Wow, thank you so much. And then it's like, but you don't know what's inside of that box. You're happy you got the gift. You have an idea what might be inside, but there's other pieces to the once you open it, it's like, wow, this is beautiful. But then there's other pieces to the puzzle that kind of makes a better gift, if that makes sense.
And
Like,
not even just that, though, but what if someone says to you, I have this gift for you wrapped in a box, but you got to walk 100 miles to get it? I got this gift for
right,
you in a
that too,
box,
yeah.
but you got to swim through this river to get it.
But once you
You know what
get the
I'm
box,
saying?
you got to put the pieces together in the box to
Right.
kind of get the real gift.
But listen, with no instructions.
That's
No
funny. That's
instructions.
that's
How in the heck am I supposed to do this?
No, I actually don't agree with that. I mean, I think there is instructions. I think, like I said, I'm not trying to be deep or anything, but the Bible kind of gives us really clear instructions on how to do this thing, and not step by step. Not It's not a list of things. Oh, do this first, do this, but it's kind of like
Well,
on a
that's what I
higher.
mean, like a practical step
Oh,
by step
okay,
of how to build something.
right. If we take the blueprint of how Jesus was with us, I think that we'll be, I won't say perfect, but it works.
But
But
I think you can
I get what you're
still,
saying.
yeah, I think you can still love God and follow God's commands concerning love and still struggle with it.
Of
Like, I
course,
think, like I
naturally, like
said,
you said, like naturally, we have these selfish desires that
Right.
go against
Right.
what we want, you know what I mean, in terms of the marriage.
Right.
Um, but yeah, like I think marriage is a gift, and I think that if you or anyone else wants to, and I want to be in that number, I want to be able to say 20, 30 years, you know, I've only known this one woman. Like I only been married to her. Like only, you know, it's just been me and my wife for, you know, since I was 22 years old. You know, I met her when I was 22 years old. We got married when I was 25. So it's like it's crazy because it's like, yeah, and then I want to be able to look, you know, 40 years, 50 years down the line. It's like, man, like just been us, you know? And the fact that she's my only girlfriend, you know, it's like I've only known her. It's like that's a notebook story in a way.
But also that requires you to work more because you came in on a clean slate, creating something that you've never worked through before.
Right. But at the same time, it kind of gives you an advantage too, because you have nothing to compare anything to, because all I know is you. You know what I mean? So there's a benefit there, yeah. And then there's a like, oh man, I wish I had more experience too to know how to be a better spouse or whatnot. I get it. But like everything comes with time. But I think that it's very important to work at love, work at quality time, things like that. And we're all moving towards having a better marriage and trying to be better in communication, be better in our walk with Christ, so we can be better spouses to each other. And I'm proud of what we've accomplished so far. You know, we have a beautiful baby girl that's growing so fast, and we work as a great team together. And the way we prioritize our life, and we're not perfect, you know, we have plans set, you know, and with things that we're trying to do, but the way we just started doing this meeting, like we call it the BBM, the Benjamin Business Meeting, where we kind of discuss certain things for our future and things like that. And we didn't do things like this before. So like as we grow and learn, it's going to be new things that we're going to conquer and discover
Right.
that works for us, that makes us better
Right.
individuals. And I'm happy about it. I'm proud that the Lord is opening these doors for us. And I love my spouse, and pray for us that, you know, we continue to move in the right direction. Do you want to say something else?
And you build a legacy from the ground up. You build that legacy from something so small. Like me and my husband met on Facebook. He sent me well, actually
Instagram, actually.
Instagram technically. Like, and then he sent me a friend request on
It
Facebook.
moved over, yeah.
Like we met on Facebook because he liked my picture. Now we have a child together. We have a life together. We're building a legacy together just from him thinking that I was pretty and sent me a message. And I was like, whatever made me respond, I did. And then now look, you
'Cause I was
know.
attracted, that's why.
So check your DMs. You know, might be some good fellas in there. Let us know in the
Be
comments.
careful though. You can't trust somebody today, man.
We matchmaking. Let us know in the comments. Is there somebody in your DMs? Let us know if it worked out.
Who in there?
Who in there?
Who in them DMs?
All right, y'all. That's what we got.
Check them DMs,
Let
y'all.
us know in the comments. You know, what do you think about the work that is love, the work that is relationships, the work that is marriage?
And also, like, leave us some comments about your experiences. We would love to read some paragraphs. You know, break it down. We'd love to hear from you guys. All right, thank you guys for joining us for another episode of the Candid Couch. This was a fun episode. You know,
I enjoy this. I
feel like we got loose on this one. You know, got loose on the track. But this was fun. You know, I want you guys to follow us on Instagram, on Facebook, and subscribe to our YouTube channel, and leave some comments, y'all. We wanna be able to interact with you guys, and
we're also on Anchor FM. Check us out there too.
And Spotify, yeah. You know, yeah, this was fun. And we want you guys to keep coming back. We're gonna push out some more content for you guys, some more juicy topics. This was a good time. All right, guys, we love you. Continue to support, subscribe, you know, share our stuff, and have a pleasant day.
And we'll see you next week.